This should be okay. There you go. Thank you very much for that. So what is new? Well, there you go. These are the last numbers that I received. Is somewhere from last summer, September timeframe last year. But just to give you an idea about the market, because 2020 was actually a strange year, also in IT, but I like these numbers because if you take a look at a hyper-converged market, and by the way, this is worldwide, but I can say that also in Belgium, it's exactly the same. Finally, we see those numbers definitely with Simplivity going up, while our competitors in the hyper-converged market, yeah, they're not bad. I don't say that they're bad, but yeah, the message of what I'm going to share with you, the first upcoming slides, I'm going to repeat the strong points of Simplivity that we use to go to the market. And I am convinced that yes, there is a lot of opportunities out there. And so, yeah, I like these numbers. Numbers are really going up. We're doing a lot of HCI business with Simplivity, also with Nimble, of course, but definitely with Simplivity as well. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you how you can even do more business with Simplivity, because there's really some exciting news for you as well in the second part of this presentation. Yes, at the end, there is also, of course, a Q&A plan, since this is a live session for you. If you have any questions afterwards whatsoever, yeah, just ask us. So there you go. HPE is growing in the market. We're not the biggest one yet, but it's not always the biggest that is the best. But we're growing, okay? So that means that we have A, a good product, and B, we have a good story, and C, we have a lot of satisfied customers here in Belgium and worldwide as well. So use that momentum, okay? And this is where we gonna help you, of course. Now, what do you have to tell to your customer? Okay, why is Simplivity good or better than the others? Okay, well, of course, there is that remaining discussion about the cloud. Well, you will see what will be possible with the cloud, because yes, Simplivity will have more integration with the cloud as well. Which cloud anyway? Yeah, a public cloud. What we do is, yeah, we give you a private cloud experience, because the cloud is not more than just an experience of how you use, how you consume your IT environment. Well, we're going to use that. We're going to give you that cloud experience, but on premises, so that at least you have the low latency, high performance guarantees that you cannot really deliver with a public cloud deployment. We have those numbers if we're going to talk a little bit financially. And so, yes, at the end of the presentation, you will see more about money as well, how you can win with Simplivity. But there's also that return on investment that we can show today with also customers here in Belgium that tell us, yes, indeed, we can do more business. The outcome is higher. We are really happy with that solution. After 1 year when you installed it, we're making already money out of it compared to a traditional IT environment, of course. So there's a lot of cost savings during the installation, during the deployment, patch management, the updates, so the operational maintenance, which will be easier. Also about that we're going to talk, how easy it is. When troubleshooting, your life will be easier because there's something called Infosight that will help you as well. And also in case of a problem, and even in 2020, even last week, in the news, I saw that announcement about with all the COVID tests. So all those, one of the biggest laboratories here in Belgium was attacked by ransomware. So they had to disconnect their complete IT system from the internet, and they, or had to pay ransom, or they had to start their restore of all their data. And then you have to look up which data was not infected, because most of the time those ransomware guys are longer within your company than you might expect. And so one of the cool things is that also with the Simplivity solution, we can recover your environment in a faster way compared to a traditional data protection solution. Yeah, one of the cool demos that we give together for you with your customer is that 1 terabyte VM file server, let's say, that we can recover in less than 60 seconds. Actually, yeah, it's somewhere around 1.5 seconds, and bang, that file server is already up and running from 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week ago. Just tell me which one that you want to restore. But we have a really good, let's say, a better data protection environment compared to the traditional environments as well. And like I just said, yeah, I'm going to highlight all these 5 points, by the way, in the presentation. Also with that intelligence, everything is done through one click. It's not actually 1 click, it's 3 clicks. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to deploy a VM, to boot a VM, to back up a VM, to restore a VM, to create a data store, present it to all your servers, to update your environment. It's all much easier. Something that we see with Simplivity, but also, of course, with Nimble DHCI. It's not only with Simplivity, but also HPE is putting that complete framework across all their products to make your life easier to consume your IT environment in a much easier way. So Simplivity, well, the 3 pillars will be, it is simple to consume. Why? Because there's a lot of intelligence in there. It is efficient. One of the key pillars that we're going to show to you and your customers is indeed the efficiency of an environment. And a third pillar that is now being added is now with the edge, because we have so many clouds out there and we have so many connected devices now with IoT, the Internet of Things, is that also you will see that Simplivity is more and more being used in the edge. Okay, so it's the location where your data is being generated. So you need some VMs there, you need some databases there, and we have already at this moment here in Belgium as well multiple deployments with multiple edges, little branches, branch offices where we install, for instance, a Simplivity 325, which is a smaller 1U model. We're going to talk about that, don't worry. But so that 325 is so popular today, for instance, in those remote sites, in those branch offices. And by the way, you will see what we mean with that cloud connected. Yes, there will be more and more connectivity with the cloud, for instance, for data protection, and also with the intelligence with Infosight, of course. Yeah. Well, at the end, this is an overview of what is Simplivity at the end. It's this one slide that we're going to present to your customers that will say, hey, this is Simplivity. This is why we have that return on investment, why it's simple, why it is efficient, and so on. Okay. For those who attend my sessions in the past already, I see a lot of familiar names in the list. I see a lot of new names as well. Welcome. But so in the past, I had an animated slide that was showing a traditional IT environment with servers and storage and switches and cables and licenses and updates. And you needed an IT expert, a storage expert, a server expert, and a network expert, right? And then you had Simplivity. Well, actually, this is an overview of that animated slide finally, okay? It's an all-in-one system, okay? You will see the pictures in a minute, but it's a DL380, or DL325, it's whatever. It's a ProLiant server in a small or a medium or a big form factor. It's just a form factor, but it's not only the server, also the storage is in there, and it's also included with software, Simplivity OmniStack software. And all that makes it at the end like a smartphone, because a smartphone is also an all-in-one system. Well, Simplivity is also an all-in-one system. It is adding 10 products, 10 silos, yeah, all in one solution. Which one? Don't worry, it's coming, okay? But that's the advantage. all in one, easy to use with the hardware, with the software. Second of it is to avoid that you need all those experts in the server and the storage and the networking area. Global unified management. You will see, I have some examples, I have some screenshots in the presentation, is that the VM is a center, okay? So we don't see servers, we don't see storage at the end. You can see them, but by default, you don't see them. You see the VM, and the VM is the core of the management. Okay, your application where your users are connecting to. So you're gonna manage everything centrally. Is HPE pushing you with their own user environment? No, it's just vCenter. Okay, so if you know VMware vCenter, well, then you know Simplivity. Okay, when I do customer visits, often, definitely if there is a technical guy in the meeting room, I challenge them. Okay, hey, look, this is how it works, right? Backup a VM, delete the VM or delete data, and then restore a VM. And then I just give my laptop to that guy and I say, hey, repeat this. Do it again, what I exactly did. Create data, backup the data, delete the data, and restore the data. Well, until now, everyone was able to do it. It's so easy to manage. By the way, it's centrally managed. So if you have multiple sites, so multiple branch offices and so on, one single console. Okay, so you don't need to tweak all those environments and then send a backup from site A to site B and then do a restore from B to A and so on and so on. One single site, no replication jobs, no tweaking, no optimization, and so on. Everything is in there, including the data protection. The upgrades, I have some screenshots to show you. One-click upgrade, that's marketing, of course. In reality, it's not one click. It's almost one click at the end. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 4 clicks, maybe 5 clicks. But at that moment, it's really easy to update. Today, the software will update your firmware. So it's the SPP, the service pack for ProLiant, to update the firmware of the hardware. Yes, it will update your hypervisor from VMware 6.5 to 6.7. Yes, 7.0 is almost there. I'm going to talk about that later. And also the operating system, the OmniStack software, the Simplivity software itself, okay? Until 1 year ago, you had, these were 3 tasks that you needed to do. Well, today there's one application. I have a screenshot coming. There's one application that will do all the updates of the hardware and the hypervisor and the Simplivity software. Back again to make your life easier. Refresh cycles also there. It's really nice to show. It's really easy to show as well. Customer starts with 2 nodes. Yeah, technically you can start with 1 node, but it doesn't make sense because if you have to do patch management at that moment, you have to shut down VMs. So you always start with 2 nodes and all the data is replicated across those 2 nodes. If 1 node goes down, there's no data loss. All the VMs keep on running on that 2nd node, right? And then it scales out. So you can add a 3rd node, a 4th node, a 5th node, a 16th node. You can go up to 96 nodes in the federation. So that's quite a lot of compute and storage that you can create a hyper-converged environment. You can also have multiple sites, of course, in that so-called federation, multiple clusters. And if that customer today decides to go to Simplivity, well, I can tell you already in 4, 5, maybe 6 years that once that he wants to change his environment with new environment, well, at that moment, he will probably have Gen 12 or Gen 13 servers. But even then, he doesn't have to do a migration as such, because you just can move that VM from one cluster on, let's say, the old cluster to the new cluster. Okay, so also on the long term, you will get a much better experience, yeah, because it's much easier to scale up or scale out or scale deep your environment. Also about the tuning, there was back again an update with Infosight. So you will see with HPE Infosight, which is the AI-based overview management of your environment, giving you predictive recommendations with the predictive analytics in there. So also there, it doesn't stop. Simplivity was added somewhere last year in March timeframe, if I remember well. Well, now they keep on adding more and more intelligence on the, not only on Simplivity, also on Nimble and servers and all the other products from HPE, but also on Simplivity. You will see that you will get more information about the efficiency, about the performance. There's no knobs, there's no tweaking, no tuning that you need to do, no trade-offs, because like I just said, everything is going to be automated, also for the support, that you're going to get that better support experience. Well, there you go. These are the 6 key things that we're going to show in the presentation, also in a demo, because also in the demo, these are the unique features that we can show about Simplivity, of course. By the way, this is the stack of those silos that I refer to. So it's an all-in-one system, okay? If you start with 2 nodes, it's even possible to direct attach them. What does that mean? We're going to replace your top of rack switches, okay? And even if you have top of rack switches and you selected the Aruba switches for that, well, at that moment, Simplivity can communicate with those Aruba switches to configure them, to create the VLANs during the deployment, because technically there are 3 networks. There's a storage, there's a VM network and a management network, and then the federation network. Well, Simplivity will make the configuration for you if you want. Then you have the server with the hypervisor. We have the switches for the storage network. Like I said, we can direct attach if you want. Shared storage is in there, backup and deduplication is in there. Also, if we have multiple sites, the WAN optimization, which is most of the time an option in the competitive products on the market, or you need to select third-party solutions. Well, here it is by default in there. It's all SSD. Yes, we have a hybrid model, but most of the time it's all flash model. So data protection and the monitoring by default is in there. One important thing, all-inclusive licensing, okay? When you buy that box, all the licenses are in there, okay? Why is that important? Yeah, because there are other products on the market who are really easy in the beginning to sell you these boxes, but then when you want to have additional features, yep, you have to pay for additional licenses. Let it be clear, Mr. Customer, when you buy Simplivity, all-inclusive licensing. So we're not gonna bother you with, in 1 or 2 or 3 years, you want to do multi-site replication, synchronous replication. Oh yeah, you have to pay more. Nope, everything is in there. Okay. About that unified management, well, like I said, the more sites that you have, it doesn't have to be worldwide like in this picture, but even if you have multiple sites, there's one place where we're gonna manage everything. And so you can select all those sites, and every site can be, doesn't have to be, but can be a backup of each other. Yes, you can even mix models. So now we have more nodes with less nodes. Now these are, when I take a look at the picture, all DL380s. Nope, one site can be based on DL325. The other site can be still even Gen 9 servers. Now we are at Gen 10. Maybe one day, yeah, one day, maybe this year already, there will be a Gen 11 model. Who knows? But even then, yes, it is possible. Yeah, VM is the center of the management. The hardware underneath it is less important, as long as they're running the same version or a similar version of the Simplivity software, you should be. Okay, there you go. This is the Simplivity management console, right? It is just vCenter. It's a plugin in vSphere, okay? It's not more than that. And this is one of the few, one of the only screens that you will not recognize from vCenter itself. Okay, so this is one of the demos that I'm doing for you. If you didn't have the demo yet, please contact me. I'll give you the demo. You will be impressed. But one of the things is when I go to a cluster, yeah, so you see your vCenter with your data center, and then one or multiple clusters. When you click on your cluster and you go to monitor, well, it's one of those places where you can see the HPE Simplivity plugin. Okay, and there you go to Simplivity with performance, the typical graphics about the performance of your environment, but one that is really nice to show is the storage efficiency. Okay, so what do we see here? Well, this is actually on cluster level on my storage. This customer has 6.82 terabyte of virtual machines. What does that mean? Well, VMware sees 6.82 terabyte of VMDK files. Okay, and like I said, Simplivity has a built-in data protection mechanism. So we're going to make backups of my VMs. And so this customer has 117 terabyte of backups, which are technically seen if you're using Veeam, the VBK and the VIB files that are stored on a Synology or a server with storage or stored once, or maybe a public cloud, whatever. Yeah, so 117 terabyte of backup data. Now, here we have two clusters. So we have also remote backups. So in this case, there is a Tokyo cluster that is apparently sending backups to the Las Vegas cluster as well. So for in total 51 terabyte, which makes that at this environment, so I see here two Simplivity nodes in this cluster. We have in total 170 terabyte of logical data, VMDK files, and then the VIB, VBK backup files. Well, if you take a look in reality, yeah, left is the logical space, right is the physical space. The physical space is the data that is actually used, so data written on the SSDs. Well, in reality, there's only 3.73 terabyte of those 175 terabyte written on the SSDs, which gives us an efficiency of 47 to 1. Okay, and 47 to 1 is a good average of what we see worldwide. Okay, my experience here in Belgium, most of the customers, or at least half of the customers, they see an efficiency between 80 and 100 to 1. Okay, I have one customer who has an efficiency of 500 to 1. That's really, that's extreme. Never, don't expect 500 to 1. Technically, it is possible. I have one customer here, but most of the time it will be somewhere around 70, 80, 90 to 1. But worldwide, overall average 47 to 1, which is not bad. I challenge you, take a look at your current IT environment, your storage environment, primary storage and secondary storage. I challenge you, take a look of how much efficiency, deduplication and compression, how much do you get? Okay, and then, yeah, then we'll talk further, okay? So this is a nice one to show to your customer. By the way, this is what we do with a live demo, of course, right? Because we have Simplivity in our environment and we can organize these demos for you. The second thing, just to show you, I created a screenshot just to show you what to expect. Yeah. If you click on a VM, so I click here on a VM, right click, and you have that pop-up window, and then you go to the bottom of that menu, and then you see all Simplivity actions. So that's also the plugin that is active, right? And then you can see what you can do with the VM. Well, I can clone a VM. I can move a VM from one cluster to another. I can set the backup policy. A backup policy is a backup job, by the way. Okay, so some other vendors call it just a backup job. For us, it's a backup policy. So now you can create one or multiple backup jobs, backup policies. And from the VM, you can say, I want a daily backup or a weekly backup. It's a critical VM. So it's a not so critical VM. Just create your backup jobs. Or you can create a manual backup. So that at the top, backup virtual machine, click officially, it's a minute. In reality, it takes just a few seconds and bang, you get your full backup. Then you delete the VM, then you restore the VM also in less than 1 minute. Now, if you click on a cluster, because that's the second one, these are the two only screens that you will see at the end from the plugin, the storage efficiency, then when you click on a VM, and you can also right click on a cluster. When you click on a cluster, well, it's there where you can create a data store. hold on, in reality, I have let's say an MSA. Yeah, okay. I have an MSA. I have to open up the SMU, storage management utility, create a volume, present it to my servers, click OK. Then I have to go to my VMware environment. Then I have to rescan on all my servers, rescan storage adapters. Then I see that volume. I hope I can see that volume because sometimes you have to do zoning. Then I have to go see the network guys as well. Then I have my volume. I have to format it. I have to go to the MPIO, multi-podding, set it to round robin most of the time. Then I have to check it. I have to do this on all my servers, and then I can put format it as a VMFS data store, and then I can put my data on there. Well, I had to use at least 2 or maybe 3 interfaces. Well, here, just click create a data store in 10 seconds. Yeah, you have to give it a name and a size. You click OK, and there is your data store automatically connected to all your servers in your environment, in your cluster. How easy can it be? Okay. You can search backups because a backup is made on cluster level. So also the restores are done on cluster level, of course. Well, you just click here on search backups, and there you can see all your backups of all your VMs. There's a nice filter. You can really drill down up to a file or a VM that you wanted to restore. You can use tagging if you want as well. And recently, yeah, last year, it's oh so long, it's just 5 days ago, but last year as well, Simplivity, if you attended one of my previous Simplivity update sessions, well, you will have heard that there's now integration with Store Once, okay, as a external backup target to store your backups outside the Simplivity environment, lower price point, lower price per gigabyte on Store Once. Well, this is where you have to register it. Register external store. Just have to do it once, set the IP address, username, password of Store Once, and you can send your backups to the local cluster, to another cluster in the federation, or now as well, you can send your backups to Store Once outside your Simplivity environment. Okay, well, this is it. Okay, these are the only things that I need to show in a demo. It's not more than that. It's oh so easy to use. Yeah, it's not that you can attend trainings whatsoever about Simplivity because it doesn't exist. Yeah, it's that easy. When we go further talking about the intelligence, well, this is Infosight, okay? When is it? I think next week, no, in 2 weeks, the 19th of January, there is an update session about Infosight as a platform. Well, Simplivity is supported since last year as well in there. So there is that predictive resource planning in there. We have the visibility, we have the analytics. Infosight will tell us that we're doing a good job or maybe a not so good job, that there are problems with the configuration, with the health, with the performance. So I just added here a few screenshots of Infosight. And so you can see over time, you can see that your data is growing and that your IOPS are going up and that maybe also your latency is going up. And then with the AI, the artificial intelligence, well, Infosight will tell you, if you keep on going like this, well, I think in 5 months or 6 months, it will be full. You will have to add memory or CPU or storage or maybe a new node inside your cluster. By the way, you always get also the top performing VMs. That's always funny to show to customers. Hey, see the top performing VM. Most of the time they think that it's the biggest VM with the most CPU and the most memory. Well, most of the time it's not like that. Most of the time it's that little tiny VM of a developer that is consuming all those resources. Well, by default, you don't have to configure anything. By default, you get that top 10 list of VMs abusing your environment on CPU, memory, latency, bandwidth, and so on and so on. Yeah. So by default in there, okay, really nice. And this is something more about. I'm going to give you all the details in the other session about Infosight, but Infosight actually, at least I use Infosight as a sales tool. And this is really strange because Infosight as such, you cannot sell it, okay? Because it's free, Infosight. So it's free. There are no SKUs that you can sell, but I use it as a sales tool because HPE is the only one that can that has that much intelligence in Infosight. If you want to know more about it, how to use Infosight to sell HPE gear, well, I suggest that you register for the 19th of January session about Infosight, because Infosight goes much further than only Simplivity. You'll see that it is everywhere inside HPE. Okay. Something about that one cluster upgrade, that's easy to manage, yeah, and easy to update. Well, this is how it goes, and it's not finished, by the way. Also for Nimble DHEI, also there you will see that one-click cluster upgrade. Also there you will see that it's not finished yet, okay? They just got started with this one-click upgrade experience, okay? And there will be much more to be added. Technically today it's 4 clicks. It will become 1 click. Okay. For that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more in a minute about the software updates that are happening, because at the end, it's a software that supports this. But at the end, what's the idea? Well, first of all, that is simple to update, just back again, like your smartphone. Yeah. So that you can just 1 click and it updates everything for you. That it's non-disruptive. So for that, you need at least a minimum of 2 nodes, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nodes. The more, the better. But with a minimum of 2 nodes, we guarantee that with 1 click, what he will do is he will put this server in maintenance mode. He will move all the VMs to that one. Well, this means that the customer needs a DRS functionality, of course, because it's DRS from VMware that move all the VMs to that remaining one. This one goes in maintenance mode. He reboots the node. He will do the firmware updates. He will do the VMware updates, and he will do the Simplivity updates. At the end, it takes somewhere around 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes in total, depending on how many updates that you're doing. Server comes back online. He will synchronize all the data. And at that moment, he will do exactly the same thing, but then with the second server, he will put it in maintenance mode, reboot the server, all the VMs are running on this one, he will update everything, and so on and so on. He will do this all for all your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nodes in your cluster. And therefore, it's got to be efficient, of course. Efficient for who? Yeah, for you, the engineer that needs to be in that server room most of the time, a Saturday evening, Sunday morning, when there's not that many users working. Well, that's the ideal time to update your environment. Well, at this moment, it's not necessary anymore. You can do it during the business hours. That's the whole idea, of course. Now, also here, how does it look like? So this is that I created myself. For those who follow me on my social media, they will have seen probably that at one moment in time when we were still allowed to get out. So I was in a trampoline theme park with my kids here somewhere where I live. And what you have to do during those 2 hours when they are jumping around. Well, I took my laptop and I connected to my demo environment at Tech Data from Simplivity, and I decided to update my environment from version 3.7.9 to a new version 3.7.10, which was at that moment the newest version. I'm going to talk in a minute about the versions. We are already at 4.0.1 today. But there you go. This is the interface. Okay. 4 clicks. It's not 1 click like marketing says it's coming, but technically you have to open up the Simplivity Software Upgrade Manager. He will discover your federation with your 1 or multiple data centers, clusters, and nodes. He discovers the current version and Then he says ready to upgrade. You select one node, two nodes, your cluster, and then you click next. He will run a test, and then you click go, and that's it. And then you have, yeah, depending of how many nodes, how many updates that he needs to do. For me, it took 1 hour to upgrade my 4 nodes in that cluster. Yeah. So if you want more information about that, by the way, on my blog, I have all the screenshots on my blog as well. We can talk about it if you want more information about this. Okay. Talking about the efficiency, well, I told you about the 47 to 1. I told you about the data protection efficiency, the system efficiency of all those silos being all in one. So the efficiency by default is there. Why is this important? Because it's always on. Okay, so the deduplication, the compression, everything is part of the so-called data virtualization platform, DVP. That's the intelligence, that's the strength of the Simplivity solution, right? It's always on. Why is that important? Because with the other solution on the market, yeah, you can enable it or you can disable it. And if you can enable or disable it, that means that there are some trade-offs that you have to make. There will be, if you put it on, there is a performance impact. Well, not with Simplivity. Okay, and this is what we're talking about with that demo. There you go. I told you about the 47 to 1, which is really the average worldwide. But 1/3 of the surveyed customers got over 100 to 1. And these are also the numbers that I can see. Like I told you, it's always on deduplication and compression. All the data is captured at inception globally across all the nodes. Yeah, I'm not going to dive too much into technical details, but yeah, if you take a look at the competitive solutions, yeah, they are much more limited for their deduplication and compression, their efficiency. At the end, then it's completely 100% software optimized. Yes, we have a model with the Accelerator card. I'm going to talk about that in a minute as well. But so everything can be done in the software today as well. And one of the last things about that edge experience that I told you about, well, today we have multiple models, also the 325 model, which is really becoming more and more interesting. Also, when we're going to talk about pricing, you'll see in a minute about the pricing at the end of the presentation. But what you're going to see is that we're going to have multiple sites here with, for instance, site 2, site N. These are those 325s with 2 nodes. Yes, we can technically have remote sites with 1 node. Yeah, but 2 is if you want high availability. And then in the core site, we can have those bigger nodes, maybe even the hybrid nodes, because at that moment, we can store all the backups from all those remote sites in the edge. We can make a backup to that core site, of course. Again, zero administration. Everything is done from within vCenter console. You pick your VM and you say where you want to send that backup. No replication jobs whatsoever. It's easy to use. And also there's a little, it's the only option. A Rapid DR is the only option as a software. If you want multi-site failover and you want to automate it. So let's say that site 1, boom, it explodes. Well, at that moment, you have to go to the core site and then right-click Restore VM. Technically, it's 3 clicks. If you want to automate this so that site failover, well, this can be done with Rapid DR. At that moment, he will discover that site 1 is not there anymore. At that moment, he will do automatically a full restore of all the data, of all the applications, of all the VMs in site 1. He will do that restore automatically, completely automated by Rapid DR. Also there, if you're interested, customers are really asking you a good, decent, professional solution. which doesn't cost much, because yes, there are other solutions on the market like Site Recovery Manager and so on. It costs a lot of money. You need a lot of time to set it up. You will be impressed how easy it is to set up RabbitDR to make this completely up and running. By the way, there's a video on YouTube. It takes 15 minutes, 15 minutes, and it shows you a complete automated site failover. It's really impressive technology, and it's even not that expensive either. So talking about that data protection, like I said, in a traditional environment, we have servers, we have storage, we have backup targets, let it be disk, let it be tape, let it be cloud. We have a third-party software vendor. We have replication. We have DR automation software scripts that are created. Also, if you have multiple sites, there is that WAN optimization. Well, you can buy this all separately as software or hardware or a combination of both, or everything is covered in one unit, one device, one solution, being HPE Simplivity. Okay, this is efficiency, yeah? At the purchase, at the deployment of the solution, and then the 3, 4, 5 years afterwards, when you're gonna manage, when you're gonna use your environment, okay? With the integration, well, I just told you that since last year, there is also now that integration with HPE Store once. So what can we do? We have all those edge sites with all those VMs running and applications running. And we can send those backups to the core site. And in the core site, we have bigger nodes and we have more capacity. And in the edge sites, we're going to keep our backups maybe just for a few weeks or days. And in the core site, because we have more capacity, bigger nodes with more bigger disks, we can keep maybe months of backups as well. But now there are customers that says, yeah, for compliance reasons, I need more than just a few weeks or a few months. Yeah, at that moment, now we have that connection with HPE Store once, which exists as a physical appliance, but also as a virtual appliance, as a VSA, right? And so now from within Simplivity, we can send a backup, that daily or that weekly or that monthly backup to Store once, which has a lower price point gigabyte, and we can keep a backup for years there. And if you keep on coming back, attending this session, because today I cannot talk about it, it's not there yet. But yes, there's a new software version 4.1 coming. And for those who know Store once, they know Store once has a connector with the cloud called CloudBank. Yeah. And so, yeah, you can send backups from Store once to the cloud called CloudBank, which can be running at AWS, at Amazon, at Google, at Azure, if you like Azure. And so you can send your copy over there. But today, it's not possible yet from within the Simplivity console. Well, what do you think what is coming in the next version of software? Yeah. So at that moment, there will be, I have to change this picture because then there will be at the right here, there will be some cloud. Yeah. And you can send your data even in the public cloud if you would like that. Okay. So there you go. There's much more to come. I suggest that you come back somewhere. It will be March, April, maybe timeframe. You will get an invitation, but there's much more to come with Simplivity on hardware and software level, right? As you can see, there is already some integration with Google Cloud's Anthos. It is already there. Is it ideal? No, not at all. It's just a start. But now, yep, we can move the data over there to extend our data protection. And talking about cloud, everything as a service with HPE GreenLake, know that there's also a possibility to consume Simplivity as a service. Okay. More details next week, guys. 12th of January. Same place, same location, same Tuesday, but just next week we have an introduction in HPE GreenLake, HPE as a service. And there we're going to focus on Simplivity as well. So note that it's possible. There's much more to come. Now, let's talk about the details and really what's new, what you need to know about the portfolio. Well, today the portfolio looks like this. We still have the 380 with the Accelerator card. So this is still the main model that we are presenting, which is a DL380. There's an Accelerator card in there that will offload all the dedupe, all the compression in there as well. We have an extra small, medium, large, extra large model, depending of just the capacity of the SSDs that are in there, the capacity that you need. You can have 1, 2 CPUs starting with the minimum 144 gig of RAM, the maximum 3 terabyte of RAM in one single node. We start with 2 for high availability, and then you can go up to 96 nodes in a federation. Okay. Now, since 1.5 years, there is a model called the 380G as well. And with the software updates that were happening from 3.7.9 to 3.7.10, 4.0, 4.0.1, 4.1 coming really soon, well, we see that at the end, the 380G model is the same model, is the same hardware. It's the same Simplivity software, only there's no accelerator card in there. And today we see that the 380G model can deliver almost the same performance as the 380 model with the accelerator card. Yeah. Because as well, why is that? Well, today we have, with AMD, we have CPUs up to 64 cores. Yeah. Also, even with Intel, with the latest R model CPUs. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But with those R model CPUs, we have so many cores with that many gigahertz available of performance. Honestly, your customer doesn't need it. Yeah. So at that moment, we see that the 380G model is really a very good alternative. And I can tell you, I cannot give all the details because there's nothing officially communicated yet, but you will see that one day that 380 with the accelerator card one day will go away. Yeah. Will there be a new accelerator card? Honestly, I don't know. If you want to know, well, we have to call together HPE, and then probably if you sign a paper, non-disclosure, then maybe they can say something more. I hope already in April timeframe that I can say more as well. But today, the only thing that I can say is that there's an end at that accelerator card at one moment in time, because it exists already quite some time. At the time that we were talking about 2, 4, 6 core CPUs, but now we have 28, 30 with AMD already 64 core CPUs. So at the end, we don't need that accelerator card anymore. And so you will see when we're going to talk about prices and about the promo deck at the end after this one, you will see that there is a really good, interesting offer on the 380G model already. Okay, and if you take a look capacity-wise, it's very good. And also here, there's much more to come. This number will go up as well. Okay, because it's just 5, 6, 12, 16, maybe one day more SSDs that will be in those nodes. That's up to you, by the way. When we're going to talk about sizing and scaling and so on, this is what we're going to do together with you. To all those sizes of models, the ones that you need, we're going to help you. Okay. Which nodes that you need. We also have a 380H model. H is a hybrid model, and you will see this one exists with small form factor drives and at the right, large form factor drives. Okay, hybrid model, what does that mean? There are 4 SSDs in there, and there are or 20 SFF or 8 LFF drives in there. So it's hybrid. Higher capacity, the performance is a little bit lower, of course, on the IOPS side, because we have spinning media in there. But so those models, definitely the H model with those really big 7.2K RPM drives in there, you will see that these are typically nodes for backup and archive. Yeah, you can run 1, 2, 3, 4 VMs on there, but this is really a node built for backup and archive. Remember that picture with those edge sites? So we have multiple edge sites and they want to have one central backup. Well, the 380H is an ideal backup target in that remote site as well. And last, yeah, we have the 2600, which is based on Apollo. It's a 2U model with 4 servers in there. That's really for the edge co-location environments. Honestly, we didn't sell anyone. I don't think that we're going to sell one of these guys anyway, because we have very popular today is the 325, which is entry level. Honestly, entry level, you can put up to 64. It's just a 1 socket. It's a 1U server. You know a DL325, right? Well, it's a 1U server with just 1 socket in there, but it's a 64 core EPYC CPU in there. You can put a lot of memory in there. And you have a model with 4 or 6 SSDs in there for those edge sites. I can tell you in Belgium, we have a lot of customers. It's not even an edge site, it's a main site. But when we're going to talk about the pricing now, you will see that this is really an interesting solution. Okay, so today, what you need to remember, 380, but 2021, definitely 2022, you will see a migration going to the 380G, okay? Because we can deliver the same performance, and the 325, depending on the size of how many VMs that you want to run, of how many capacity that you need, okay? I will keep on repeating this slide every time when there's a change. You will know it from us first. Simplivity software, well, like I told you today, the latest version is 4.01. And before there was 4.00, 3.7.10, and so on and so on. 4.1 is coming, but it's not there yet. It should be there really soon. Everyone is waiting for it. I confirm this. It should be there really, really soon. No official dates that I am aware of yet. I hear a lot of dates, but nothing official. 4.1, why is everyone waiting? Because there is ESXi 7.0 support in there. So today, Simplivity is still running 6.7 update 3 or something like that, the latest update of VMware 6.7, which is as such very good. But 7.0 support should be there really soon with 4.01. Now, before 4.1, I mean, no, and this is important for existing customers. So everyone that is already doing some things with Simplivity, please update to 4.01 update 1. So there is an important update that was released in December. It's not important for Simplivity, but it's important for the underlying hardware, because all your customers with a ProLiant server, with a RAID controller, I think that's 99.9% of all of you guys, out there. You should have updated already. You should be aware of that important firmware update of the RAID controller. Okay, it's a mandatory update of the RAID controller because there is a known issue with data corruption on an SSD connected to that RAID controller. So you should have upgraded, and if you didn't do it yet, do it. Update to the 3.x 3.0 firmware update of the smart RAID controller. Well, now Simplivity 4.0.1 update 1, so you can download it from the HPE support site. By the way, here are the links to the documents, with all the information. The customer advisory is where you can download all the software. Yes, you get a copy of the presentation anyway, so you have the link. Please update Simplivity 2. And there are 2 versions. If you are at 4 already, go to 4.01 update 1. For those who are at 3.7.10, yes, there is also 3.7.10 update 1. But so for those who are at 3.7.9 or below, you should update at least to 3.7.10 update 1, or even better, 4.01 update 1. This picture comes from the Interoperability Guide. This is one document that is showing you everything of what is supported, from which version. Hey, I have a customer running 3.7.6. Well, to go from 3.7.6, you have to follow a path to update. So it's not possible to go from 3.7.6 directly to 4001. So you will have to do it with one step in between. Back again, the interoperability guide. For those guys who are already out there doing business with Simplivity, you should know this document. If you don't know the document, here is the link, or you just Google it. Okay. Simplivity interoperability guide. And there's, by the way, there's much more information, but this is just to show you 3710 update 1. That is the one with the rate controller update to 3.0. And also 4.01 update 1 is the one with the rate controller update. So guys, you know what to do the upcoming weeks. Just to update. By the way, it's an automated procedure or semi-automated procedure. It shouldn't be that hard. Okay, good. I'm going to take a look at the timing. Okay, perfect. Because I arrived now to the latest section of this presentation. I need to talk about the pricing because I still see too many, I call it challenges, yeah, problems, questions about pricing, yeah, how to get started. And I still hear people saying that competitive, yeah, Simplivity is expensive. What? Come on, just call us. We're going to help you. By the way, it's now in the presentation. Okay, please sit down. Otherwise, you will fall behind because you will be impressed about the pricing. Okay, but what do I see? Which questions do I get? Hey, Bart, help me with the pricing about Simplivity. And the competitors say that Simplivity is expensive. So what do? Together with you, I go to OCA, One Config Advanced, that fantastic tool on the HPE partner portal where you can create your configuration. And then I select Simplivity. And I have a customer that says, hey, 5 years ago, I bought a DL380 Gen 8 probably, or G7 still maybe one day. You still have a customer with G6? It's time to change probably. But anyway, 2 times 8 cores. Okay, there you go. So this is, by the way, a bill of material. There's not that much in this. It's not important. Yeah. I highlighted the most important things. If you take a good look here at the top, and if you're interested, I can deliver all the Excel sheets. By the way, the HPE team at Tech Data, Steven, Wim, Christophe, they are experts in creating all those bill of materials, and probably you had contact already with them. They have these Excel sheets ready for you, okay? So you see here 2 8-core CPUs. So that's the latest generation 5217 Intel CPU, okay? 8 cores, 3 years of support, foundation care, next business day, because that's the minimum, okay? And this is from now, this is my reference. But what did I do? I selected 2 CPUs. And this is something that I need to tell you, because Simplivity, the software license of Simplivity, you pay per physical socket. Hey, there are other companies out there where you pay licenses per core or per physical socket. Well, Simplivity is also per physical socket. So take a look here. So this is the part number, Simplivity 380G, because I selected the G model. You will see in a minute why. 2 processors, the 7.5 terabyte model with 6 SSDs in there. And you see, by the way, what I'm showing now is list prices. That's why I said, please sit down. Yeah, this is list price. Okay. The second thing, of course, is support. 3-year foundation care next business day. And this is also, look here, 2P. Yeah. Support is also for Simplivity based on 1 or 2 sockets. Now, keep this in mind. Okay. I'm going to write it down for you. 60K. Okay. So there you go. Can you see it? Yeah. 60K. Hold on, guys. This is per node. You need 2 nodes. So we're talking about 120K list price. Okay. You have customers? Yeah, call me. I'll make you a good price, right? 120K. How much of these Simplivities that we sell? None. Way too expensive. And this is why we are here. What did we do? This now is the same configuration, but instead of 2 times 8 cores, I just selected that new 6226R, which is a fantastic, bloody fast CPU for a fantastic price. Yeah. 3 years, foundation care, next business day. Take a look. Support was 18, almost 19K for the software. Now it's 12K. Now I must admit HPE did a good job, because until a few months ago, until last summer somewhere, the support of this one, so with 2 CPUs, it was really the double, it was 24K. Yeah, and then we said, guys, this is insane. This is way too expensive. Yeah, so they lowered the price already. So we're coming from 24K for 2P to 18K. But what did I do? I changed the CPU in a more performant, so it's a faster CPU, because if you take a good look, when you're gonna take a look at the core count and the gigahertz, the 6226R, really cool, very popular CPU today. For 2,800 list price, one CPU, I lower my software already with 8K. And also, if you take a look at the support, also here, when I go back to my previous slide, we were here at 7K. Now I have only 4.8K, which means that in total, yeah, I'm going from 60K to 49K. Okay, I'm gonna put it back again here on my paper, 49K, right? Hold on, times 2, it's still 100K for 2 nodes. Okay, by the way, all-inclusive licensing, the only thing that you need to buy here is a VMware Essentials Plus or whatever VMware license that you need. That's it, right? But it's still, yeah, that's the price. Okay, hold on. It will be a late Santa Claus, but I'm here to give you gifts, okay? To give you the presents, the Christmas gifts. Yeah, hold on, we're almost there. So now I made this for myself because I show this as well. This is 3-year foundation care next business day. If I move further in my story, I took the same configuration with that 1 times 16 core, same memory. This is a 384 gig RAM in those nodes, but I changed it in 24/7 instead of next business day, 24/7. So now we're going from 49K to 52K list price. Okay, so this is 2,500 euros more expensive for 3 years. 2,500 divided by 3, that's 800 euros list price per year. That's, how much is it divided by 12? That's 6 euros per month. Come on, guys, please don't do it. Yeah, don't sell next business day. You get much more, a better support experience for 2,500 euros list price. It will be lower in reality for 3 years. Yeah. Don't start with next business day anymore. Okay. This is really interesting. And now if I keep on going, you have foundation care, but you also have proactive care. And now if you saw the difference, we changed from 52K to 54K list price. Yeah. And now there you go. There's a difference between foundation care, where we have product support. You call HPE support and they will ask you about the product. There's a hard disk broken, there's a NIC, there's a DIMM. It's a product that you will get support, no end-to-end case management. Now with foundation care, of course, you have priority on the calls compared to the default warranty, but take a look with proactive care. For 2,000 euros, for 3 years, that's 700, not even 700 euros per year. You get enhanced call handling, 15-minute callback for critical incidents. You go directly to the advanced solution team. You have end-to-end case management. And there's also a technical account manager that will regularly, every year, he will give you recommendations, yeah, about firmware updates. Hey, you're still running on too old version. We suggest that you're going to do this and that. This is solution support, guys. Yeah. So this is something that you need to talk about as well. And it isn't that much more expensive. Okay, I just want to give you the comparison. And by the way, this is the last one. This is now because most of you guys have 5 years support. Well, take a look. I'm still below because I started with 60K, remember, with two 8-core CPUs with 3 years. Next business day support was 60K list per node. Well, now I can give you here the same node, same performance, but with 5 years, 24/7, which is list 59K. Why did I do this? Just to show you the small differences about the support, okay? Because support is also important, okay? Well, now, this is now what I really want to talk about is about the promo, the Simplivity Ready Packs promotions. Okay, and normally you as an HPE partner, because I assume that you are all HPE partners, that you get all these emails and that you are aware about HPE Snap, which is a website, hpesnap.com, where you can connect to on as an HPE partner, and there you can find all the price lists and all the latest marketing and all the new product announcements, introductions on there as well. And so know that there is that promo pack. If you cannot find it there, well, our account manager, so Peter and Danny, a picture is coming in a minute. So Peter and Danny can help you as well. All the technical things, hey, that's me and Wim, Christophe, Steven. All the non-technical HPE related questions, hey, we have Danny and Peter that will help you. We have Michael as well in our team. And of course, we have HPE themselves who are there, your account manager at HPE that should provide these promo decks. Well, normally you should get these. Well, I see too often that you are not aware of, or at least it arrives at the wrong person within your company. So this is why I'm gonna give you a little insight of why this promo deck is also important. So today, what do we have? This is the promo deck. It was launched November, end of November. And this promo is available, applicable until the 30th of April. So that's 2 quarters. Okay, so until the 30th of April, we have that so-called OPG, special pricing number, that we get with a really interesting promo of the 380G. And so this is now the configuration that I've just shown you, okay? With the 6226R 7.5 TB model, yeah, which was, if I take a look, 52K per node times 2 is 104K. Well, guys, I can deliver you this one for 25,999, which is a marketing number, by the way, because in reality, call our experts, call Wim, Steve, Christophe, you will see in reality, it will be even a little bit below. If I remember well, it's 25,600 or 500, whatever, yeah. 25 and a little bit K, you get 2 Simplivity nodes instead of 104. Now, if you're interested in the 104, hey, call me. Yeah, I will be happy to help you. But call Wim, Steve, Christophe, everyone at HPE team at Tech Data, and we will be happy to guide you to get you the best price. And this is really interesting. Yeah. 26K, it's insane because these are 2 DL380s with a big CPU, with a lot of memory, with all flash SSDs in there, with the Simplivity software on top of it, with data protection, with the guaranteed 1-minute restore of a 1 terabyte VM and so on, blah, 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 all the things that I've shown you for 26K. This is an insane price. Okay, and so yes, now it is of course possible, because this is where Wim and Steven and Christophe, where we will help you with this. Of course, you want not, because this is, by the way, in this price, there is a 3-year foundation care 24/7. By the way, this is the 24/7. We stop with next business day. This is 24/7. But yes, we can help you now to change this to 5 years, because I know that probably your customer wants 5 years. So technically, it is possible to change that to 5 years. Or you're not happy with the 7.5 TB model with the 6 SSDs, no problem. We can give you an example as well with the 10 TB model, yeah, for 29K, okay? So there you go. We have these promos, these OPGs available for you with really interesting prices, okay? This is ready to use, ready to sell. And also about the 325, because the 325 is today selling like hot cookies. Okay, are you ready? Less than 20K, guys. 2 Simplivity 325s with a 16-core CPU in there, 3 gigahertz AMD EPYC with, in total, as well, this is the model with 256 gig, if I remember well, of RAM. And we have a model with 5 TB and a model with 7.5 TB. By the way, that 5 and 7.5 TB, it's the right circle. Remember that one slide, I'm going to repeat it in a minute, but that right circle of effective storage, okay? In reality, you're going to store much more data than just 5 and 7.5 terabyte in there, okay? So also here in the 325, we are at 20K, even less than 20K indicative buying price. So this is your price that you are buying this solution from us, and then you put your uplift on there and you go to your customers, right? Less than 20K, 2 servers, you can run a lot of VMs in here, a lot of data in there with a fantastic data protection. Very efficient solution. Okay, by the way, I didn't mention it yet, but at the bottom, do you see this? Technical installation and VMware remote software service. This solution is installed by HPE. Okay, so even the installation services are included in this price. Okay, there you go. By the way, there's also a bundle with VMware licenses, because yes, you can buy VMware licenses at a very attractive price as well at HPE. Yeah, so that's that bundle 2 with a 7.5 TB model. And here you will see somewhere in the bill of material that there are VMware licenses included as well. Okay. So guys, these are the bundles, by the way. Where do we going to target? Which customers are we going to target? Of course, customers with Dell servers. Nobody's perfect. EMC storage, competitive solutions like Nutanix, VxRail, HyperFlex, even customers with DL servers. Okay, so if you have customers with a DL380 G6 or G7, you can sell a DL380 Gen 10. Yeah, you can do that. Or you can sell a DL380 Gen 10 with Simplivity on it, which makes it a much faster, more efficient server with included data protection, which is WAN optimized, blah, 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 all these kind of things, right? Well, there you go. Yeah. By the way, for those who are interested, this is the OPG number for those who are already experienced with asking information about special pricing at HPE. This is the OPG number, just to give you an idea. Yeah, because the pricing, I cannot say you get that many discounts. Depending on the model, sometimes you get 64, sometimes you get 70. So the discount is not always the same. So if you're going to add 5-year support, well, on the support, we get different discounts. By the way, this is not Tech Data. This is HPE that has different discounts on different product lines. But anyway, to give you an idea, guys, 64 up to 70% discount. Honestly, this is Santa Claus. This is really nice. Okay. So there you go. We arrive at the conclusions. When we see those prices, 2 servers, I can run a lot of VMs, a lot of applications, a lot of users on those 2 nodes for 20K. Yeah. What you keep in mind, the efficiency. Yeah, 1/3 has 100 to 1. So on that 5 TB, that customer has 500 TB of data. Most of the time it's backup data, but backup data is also data on there. It's a very efficient environment. Take a look. We have plenty of customers who are running Oracle, Exchange, SQL, SAP, now VDI. This number, because these are the numbers of 2019, I expect now with COVID in 2020, I know most of the customers are running VDI on there. And VDI is a fantastic solution software to run on Simplivity, because what you have all those Windows 10 VMs. Well, you will see that efficiency number going up, because if you have 50 VMs with Windows 10, it's all the same data. And all the same data will be written only once on Simplivity, because we dedupe it. Yeah. So the more data you put on there, the cheaper we'll get the solution. Fantastic story. Think about this one. Mr. Customer, at the left, this is what you see. At the right is what you buy. Okay. The more data you put on there, the more efficient it will be. Okay. I challenge you. Make a comparison with a competitive solution or with a traditional storage system. It doesn't work like that. Only Simplivity is there. So there you go. We have the efficiency that is guaranteed. We can show it to you. Why? Because it's always on. You don't have to tweak it. It's not possible to power it on or set it off and so on, like with our competitors where they have a lot of knobs that you have to tweak and tune. It's always on. Set it and forget it. We have a very good resiliency, backup, and disaster recovery because we have RAID and rain protection. The next session, I can tell you already, the next session, it will be March, April timeframe. We're going to talk about 4.1 software, but also about competitive, because now I don't have the time anymore because I still need some time for Q&A, but the next session will be about competitive. And about competitive, we're going to do whiteboarding to show how we can beat the competition. The last weeks I had some questions about competing against Dell, EMC, and other solutions, even Nutanix as well, and we won. Okay, why? Because we were showing that we had a better overall picture, better data protection for sure with RAIN and RAID. If you want to know more about that, well, come back in the next session or just call me and I will do the whiteboarding for you. Yeah, but I'm going to help you as well to win those deals with very good prices, but also to show this to your customer that we get a fantastic solution. Like I told you, everything is right-click operations, no volumes, no LUNs. It's just a plugin integrated in the native tool that you're used to do, right? There you go. This is the end. It's simple, it is powerful, and it is efficient. So this, by the way, this is my triangle that I'm going to show to compare with the competition as well. But this is why your customer, why you should be interested, why you should take a look at Simplivity. And by the way, I just showed you, no, it's not expensive. Unless you see the list prices. I know our competitors, they say, yeah, but Simplivity is expensive. Of course, they know the list price, which is 100K. Of course, I'm telling you, you get the same solution with a fantastic discount. You can have Simplivity for 20K already. Don't tell our competitor because it will be a bad year for them. And this is, by the way, why I come back to my first slide, why the Simplivity numbers are going up and the other numbers are going down, because you found out about those prices. If you want more information, hey, we have the HPE team. Yeah, I know from Patricia and Michael, I still need to have their picture, but with COVID, we have to stay working at home. But one day I will get their picture, but they are in the team. I'm very happy to be in this team. So Wim, Christophe, Steven, I told you, these are the bill of material guys. We have Danny and Peter, which are the HPE specialized account managers for all the non-technical related stuff. So please contact us. Here's our email address. Here is our phone number. And so now, there you go. I promise you, we have a lot of sessions planned in January to get you up to speed, to be ready for 2021. So thank you for your time, for being here. There was a lot of people. I think we have beaten the record of attendees in the Simplivity update session. Thank you very much for your time. Q&A is open. I'm gonna take a look at Q&A. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please put it in there. Otherwise, yeah, most of you know me through my socials, and my email address is in the presentation as well. The presentation will be sent normally tomorrow or on Thursday, but it will be there this week. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, you can, yeah, even if you want, I can unmute your microphone as well, so you can ask it live. Thank you for being here. Stay safe, and I hope to see you soon in one of the upcoming sessions on HPE. Bye-bye. Well, I get the first question here in the Q&A, which is a good question. So the Simplivity software upgrade is impossible without DRS. Important when provisioning VMware licenses. Well, very good question.